Hi there and welcome to Deep Dive. My name is John and you are listening to a podcast from Mooroolbark Baptist Church. Today we're continuing our Christmas series exploring the promises of Isaiah that point us to the hope that we celebrate at Christmas. And this follows along with our Sunday morning messages, our Sunday morning sermons. So if you've missed them over the weekend, then you can also catch up and get a fuller message on our YouTube page. This week we're in Isaiah chapter 9 verses 1 through 7, a passage that speaks to a people walking in darkness who see a great light. It's a reminder that Jesus is the light who pierces the darkness. He lifts burdens, he defeats evil, and he reigns as the King of Kings. Now, Christmas does seem to start earlier each year, doesn't it? We say that often. We might hear it a few times a year. But generally by November, perhaps Halloween has finished, and soon as that is done, Christmas carols are playing in the shops. The decorations are up, and we begin to put our mind towards Christmas generally in our culture. A couple of years ago, during those lean COVID years, my brother's family even put their Christmas tree up in August. There wasn't much hope going on in that time of the year for any of us who were living in Melbourne at least, and so why not get a little bit of Christmas cheer from August onwards? But while this season can bring with it a joy and an excitement, it often highlights a contrast in many lives. Many people feel the heaviness of this season. There are burdens, there is loneliness, there is the weight of the world's struggles or physical challenges that many people struggle with. Isaiah 9 opens in a similar scene. God's people were surrounded by darkness, both literally and spiritually. They were under threat from the Assyrians. They were exiled from their homes, or going to be. And so they were feeling the weight of their own disobedience towards God, which was sort of what happened. And the consequence of that was this threat, this exile, this darkness. But into this darkness, Isaiah delivers a message of hope. He writes, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light." And he says that, but in the context of a passage that begins to point towards Jesus, that makes it clear that there is going to be someone who is to come, who will lift these burdens, who will conquer evil, and who will bring joy and peace and hope and all other manner of things. Every now and then I might watch a documentary, perhaps a David Attenborough one, where there are pictures and information shared about the deep sea. Lonely Planet, is it Lonely Planet? I think it is. Lonely Planet is a great documentary about our planet, which I watched many years ago, a David Attenborough one. And the images and descriptions show a total darkness at the ocean's depths. To our eye, it's almost pitch black, if not actually is pitch black. And it certainly looks like it's a scary place to be. I'd not be particularly keen to explore that. But there are depths, in the depths there are these bioluminescent creatures. Yes, bioluminescent creatures, these tiny little organisms that emit their own light. They shine in the darkness. And I suppose there is a thing of beauty. They are a thing of beauty in their own way there. But it's a light in a place where you least expect it. And Isaiah's promise is similar. God's light shines in the darkest places, even in the darkest places of our lives, in the darkest places of our world, to bring hope and to bring joy, to bring peace, to bring direction, whatever, and much more. Isaiah's promise, or his prophecy at this point, doesn't just promise light, it also describes what this light will do. And it says there in verse 4 of Isaiah 9, it says that this light will ease burdens. Isaiah uses the image of a yoke to symbolize oppression. And the light will come and break those burdens. These echo the words of of Jesus himself in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take your yoke. I will take your yoke upon me. Think of carrying a heavy backpack on a long hike, perhaps. The relief that you find when you drop it. I can relate when I just carry my kids' school bags from the classroom to the car if I need to. These are heavy things. But that's what Jesus offers, a lifting of burdens that we carry or that we can't carry on our own or alone. And these burdens are lifted because Jesus takes those burdens from us on the cross. The burden of sin, the burden of life, the baggage that we carry around with us, Jesus takes. We are invited to hand over our burdens to him. And Christmas is a reminder of this. The second thing that the light will do is that the light will defeat enemies. Isaiah describes the destruction through the tools of war. Every warrior's boot will be destined for burning. It symbolises peace. The battles that rage in our hearts or in our world are no match for the Prince of Peace. Imagine soldiers laying down their weapons, burning them as a declaration of the end of conflict. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. He's the one who will bring peace. Peace between us and God, peace between one another. Thirdly, the promise of this light describes the light in these ways. The form of a person. A child will be called a wonderful counselor, one who gives wisdom beyond understanding, a mighty God, he who has power to save and sustain us, an everlasting Father. He cares for us like the perfect parent. And of course, again, the Prince of Peace. He brings wholeness to our hearts and to our world. And so this child king, Jesus, reigns over his kingdom with peace and justice and righteousness. His light doesn't just pierce darkness, but it transforms it. It lifts burdens, it brings peace, and it offers an eternal hope. The James Webb Space Telescope, I'm not sure whether you've heard of it, is a rather remarkable piece of engineering as it allows us to see galaxies that are billions of light years away. It's the largest telescope in space, apparently, and it's equipped with all these high-res, highly sensitive instruments that will allow objects too old and distant or faint to then be seen at the Hubble Space Telescope as well. And so what's amazing about it is that even in the vast darkness of space, the light travels unwaveringly, consistently. And Isaiah's promise of Jesus is like that. It's an unwavering promise to us. It's piercing through the deepest darkness. It shows us a beauty, a hope, a wonder in the midst of what seems impossible. And so just as the telescope reveals light that then transforms our understanding of the universe and makes us marvel at God's creation that we continue to find and see as it expands further and further, Jesus reveals the light that transforms our understanding of who we are, of our life, of our worldview. His light shows us who he is. It reflects who he is, reflects who God is, and shows us that we are not alone, but that we can come to him and that we have a way forward through perhaps a darkness that we feel that we are in, but certainly spiritually, our dark hearts can be turned to hearts of light through the light of Christ. And so Isaiah's promise isn't just for ancient Israel, it's also for us today. If we're feeling burdened in this season, we can let the light in. Jesus invites us to rest in him. We can go about reflecting the light. We reflect the light of Jesus to others as we go about this Christmas season, reminding people perhaps of the reason for the season, but also emphasising the way in which we conduct ourselves as a witness to Jesus, a reflection of the light. And then, of course, we can rejoice in the light. We celebrate the light of Jesus. We celebrate Jesus, who is the light of the world, here at Christmas. As John 1 chapter 5 reminds us, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And so Jesus' light is stronger than any darkness we see in the world or any darkness that we might face personally. And so this Christmas, may you know his light, rest in his peace, and reflect his love to the world around you. Well, thank you for diving deep with me today. Thank you for exploring Isaiah 9, and I look forward to chatting to you next time. Thanks very much.